Just trying to find out if this thing's playing or not. What the hell? I'm in the thing. Why won't it let me actually go live on it? Live. It should be live. So then why isn't it showing? Not in stream. See, can you find out if it's playing on your channel? I don't know if there's anything that you can hear. Okay, apparently everybody can hear us, so I guess we're over here. So okay, yeah, I'm technologically impaired, nervous as hell as usual. Um, but you wanted to, you were going to open up the position on it. We're going to talk about a lot of things today.
Yeah, I just want to start by giving a shout out to Falcone and the Anglesists. You guys are great. I respect you guys, and hope to see you guys doing stuff again in the future sometime soon.
Yeah. Right now, we need to keep the Gen Z kids out of this drama shit. I think that's essential. Is there anything else we're gonna start this with? Did we just say?
What we wanted to do was to save Dr. Weizfeld's reputation.
Yeah. We're not trying to disbar him. We're not trying to remove his authority. But he seems to. I think he thinks that's what we're trying to do, and we're trying to be like, no. I don't celebrate Easter. I celebrate Pesach, but I hope you do have a good Easter. All right. So, but what else? What else? We got a row of things we talked about before we started this up. I think.
Yeah, that we're not trying to remove his authority. We're just why he has to be the only authority kind of thing.
Yeah. Maybe you should send this to him so he knows, and let him know that this may help explain things. If you could send it, because he just dropped a video. I don't know what it's about. I mean, I guess I could check. I know that he feels like he's being overridden, what he doesn't understand. No, we're trying to insert our bridges back to him in the first place. Like, we're not even sure what the communication with him is these days or not. And that's a good thing. He's looking. Okay, I'm happy he is doing that. He's looking over the student protests, and I don't know how to get to those protests, man. It's getting scary. They're putting bags over people's heads. Have you heard about that shit? I know you've heard about this shit.
Oh yeah.
And I have these Muslim friends that they're scared, Muslim Palestinian friends. They're scared of fucking talking to anybody because of this shit. Okay. Right on. I hope everybody's having a great day. Today's the last day of Pesach. Once the sun goes down, it's gonna be gone. But it was a good thing. I think one thing has definitely happened officially on Jewish communal terms. My wife and children are no longer in question as to their Jewishness, apparently, according to a certain Orthodox standard. That finally got taken care of, and that's one of the things a lot of people don't know is like I seek to make sure that people don't have to go through that as long as I did in my life. And that's essential because there's all these people that want to convert to Judaism, but today's standards of converting to Judaism would actually have to mean a denouncing of whiteness and even white people. It's a very difficult road when you think about it, but it's a popular road for people. I know a lot of people who want to convert to Judaism because they don't want to be from where they were from. And actually, that's actually how a lot of Europeans typically convert. Yeah, that's true. It's very fucking scary out here, actually. Yes, free Palestine. Palestine is the issue, and that's one of the reasons why we care so much about Dr. Weizfeld, actually, isn't it? Palestine is the issue, and like we need to make sure that there's a whole media network that covers the guy that was supposed to be the chief archivist of the Convergence. Yeah, Judaism is actually very attractive to a lot of people, and it's not, and a lot of black people are attracted to it too, who convert, and a lot of like Asians, like there were all these South Koreans that converted to Judaism a while back, and their children are still Jewish. Koreans, the Korean Jewish phenomena is an interesting one, not very well documented. Um, but yeah, you had more. You had more. A little bit more, I think. Jason.
Oh yeah, we're kind of concerned because it was Dr. Weizfeld who kind of cut off his own support network.
Yeah, we are his support network. He forgot that we're his actual support network. We've been covering Dr. Weizfeld for a while. Like I know him very far back. You staked a lot on your reputation by him wanting us to talk about a massacre that we still don't think we ever will be able to prove. But don't you agree? We just know it happened because we know enough of the people. And I knew people that died. You've known some of the people that knew what had happened. You know what I mean? Like you've talked to too many people. I
Yeah,
know they don't get it. Like how many people you talk to? Not a lot. Most people. Oh, thank you. The stream that Paystock streamed. I think Dr. Weisfeld liked it too. You probably haven't seen it yet, Jason. But it was it was it was basically a showpiece on the Paystock Seder. It was a condensed version, but it was done in a way that was accessible, on a far left level, but while maintaining a religious flavor. It wasn't exactly a political video, but it had a couple of political dimensions to it. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. One of the things I think that's confusing is if he says that he's open to talk to Syria, then I think that we should reaffirm him. Then sure, yes, we'll talk to you about Syria if he's really open to it. But this is what scares me. Let me be back. There's a book of his that I support, and while I'm going to be real. I don't like what he said to Red Wasp, but I also don't like Red Wasp possibly trying to threaten this book because I'll fight for this book. Let me show you. Did you send this video out to him, by the way? To Dr. Weisfeld. You see, you and I, like a lot of people, have a very strange understanding of our friendship. Like if you could, maybe this is a chance for Unruh to talk. See, Unruh doesn't like to talk to people. This is why me and Luke often were the guys behind trying to take care of Jason. It's not because Jason doesn't like to talk. He doesn't like crowds. You should tell people about that. But it's okay. Most of these people who are going to watch you are Gen Z, and you know what I'm talking about. Gen Z is the ones that always had your back. You know what I mean? The millennials hate you. Well,
yeah.
white ones. Yeah. You should tell people, Jason. I have to find this book. God.
Yeah, there's been the Gen Z who've shown me a lot of the support that I've received over X amount of time. Apparently, I'm not very popular among millennials. I'm not very popular among boomers or even Gen X for that matter.
Gen X is such a joke. I mean, we're both Gen X actually. I'm late stage Gen X. I'm at the millennial part where I could be considered millennial or Gen X. I'm Gen X because I was around too much Gen X, and that's the thing about the generation. The generation gap is a strange construct, but it's also a very social. It's part of social alienation. Wouldn't you say that that's the case?
Yeah.
This book, okay, is a good book. I will fight to protect the reputation of this book. Did you send this out to Dr. Weisfeld and let him know that it's streaming right now?
Was that me?
Yeah. You're the one that has the brokership to him, man. Like, I'm not ready to talk to this guy. It's impossible. I'm not ready because I don't answer him. He forgets. Yeah, he is the chairman of the revolution, and I'm the cleric of public relations. I've been PRing this for a long time, and sometimes AB puts out the wrong optics. He doesn't understand that. It's not against him at all. AB just doesn't understand the audience. Like, there are people who are very interested in his activism, but sometimes he shouts them down too much. Like, Canethius is Convergence. Like, he's forgotten all the people that were definitely in the soup with us. Canethius had AB's back from the beginning, and then, I think that's part of it. Like, and I think that Stone wanted to keep this from him, but, like, these are people that should talk to AB. I know people that should talk to AB. You know people that should talk to AB. The Convergence is not something that was just something we came up with. It just so happens that me, you, Luke Dublin, and Dr. Weisfeld saw a formation of a united front that was necessary. The purpose of AB was supposed to have with this, if I recall, was supposed to be he was the chief archivist. So we're all facilitators. You, me, Luke, and him are facilitators. Yeah, we're supposed to be facilitators in this. His facilitation role was supposed to be the chief archivist. We never updated his. We never helped him update the Jewish Socialist Boom website like we were supposed to. By the way, you know what I mean? And it's not that's not completely our fault. Like we also didn't get that GoFundMe for Scan. Remember, we had plans. That's the one that Dark Snovy's most upset with. We were gonna make sure that somebody, if anybody knows, he's called Captain DPRK now. We wanted to go give that guy GoFundMe to live in North Korea. That's what he wanted. He wanted to live in the DPRK. Why should he be stopped from it? And by the way, my agenda with this is not that I agree with this book. There's too much I do disagree with it. It's the fact that this is, if anybody knows what should be done with this book should be shoved up the UN's ass. Since they insist on a stupid two-state solution, which I will never agree with, I'll always be for Palestine. I recognize there's a Hebrew culture, just like some of the martyrs of the Bundist movement, believe the same thing, actually. That it wasn't a nation, it was a culture that was a nation becoming. But this also applies to rednecks, even. They could be a nation becoming, but they're not yet a nation. To be a nation, they'd have to be united. You know what I mean? And that's the thing about the Hebrew nation. The Hebrew nation, it's not a nation yet. It's a culture. It's not united. A nation has to be united when it's born. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and nations are born out of things. They're born out of a big ethnic boom, or they're born out of a religious boom. I know a lot of Maoists would also include economic boom. I disagree with that, but fine, whatever. The national question is unsolved, whether people like it or not. Although I think that I think the Bundists reply to Stalin's national question by Uri Adia was spot on. And that gets to another thing. You get attacked by MLs because you agree with federalism, which is just a typical thing with Maoists. Why do you think the MLs are so against the federalism?
I think the idea is to just have the revolution and then just have the revolution from there, and that's it.
Well, we know the Kurds can't have a country. We shouldn't let that happen. But we do need the Kurds to have some territorial safety for once, which was never given. That's true, and that's where. How can people not see the necessity of that? That holy crap! You guys claim to believe in Soviet Union, but here the Soviet Union, if you think about it, is designed on as a form of federalism. Despite Lenin's, is it because Lenin attacked federalism? It's weird. I don't get it. Like, you understand the whole ML logic more than I do, ultimately.
I think that the point has always been that you have the revolution and everything is directed under the revolution, and that the idea of cultural autonomy may inherently undermine that.
Mm-hmm.
Or the fear that it may undermine that.
The problem is this is one of the things that hurt the Soviet Union was it didn't do full investigations into this culture. They did pretty well with Stalin for what it's worth, but Stalin was very limited. You know what I mean? He came from you'll notice it with the way that he was with Jewish people. He's very affectionate to Jews. Like, he really felt for the Jews all the time. And he kind of had a lot of like care about them. But he also, because of Georgian superstitions, he kind of had to worry about Jews. They may want too much or something. You know what I mean? Like, that poor Stalin. That's unfortunately the man's upbringing. I remember Nikki, Red Pagan, she told me that one of the things that really struck her is you told people it's totally fine to tear down these heroes. Yeah, they're heroes, but these are very flawed people who had streaks of opportunism. You had done this video, apparently, and she said that's one of the things that got her to be more serious with her politics and do more street level stuff, was when you said that. And that gets another thing. Jason Unruh, while he's always identified as a guy on the internet, has inspired people on the streets. So this is something that he had not known for a while. He didn't even know that he was reaching Gen Z quite a while back. But I would like to know what you have to say about that, because was it a morale thing? Because this is where we're going to open up, because there's no conspiracy. I don't control Unruh. I don't. Do I?
No, nobody controls me.
What would you say it is that we have, and how it happened? Because we are kind of from different necks of the wood, but we intersect at a certain.
Yeah, I just really trust the conference of the Anglesists and yourself. You're like my best friend, so I trust you a lot. You don't control me. Like, that's just the idea that you control me is simply ridiculous.
Yeah, you want to know how I really gained under his trust? I would freaking go around. He was the one person I tried to. There were times I could have done this with Dr. Weizfeld. I technically still could. It's just I'm not sure how to talk to Dr. Weizfeld right now. You know what I mean? But I brought you around like the Grimmy slums area. I've shown you weird shit before. Like I tried a couple times to show Stone was always like it was difficult in the beginning, and I lost trust with her quickly, and she lost trust with me, and I look back at it, I don't like talking about her, and I don't want her to even feel harassed. The fact is, I have to basically protect my rep from what she tried to get people on Discord to believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a very difficult thing. Did you send this out to Dr. Weizfeld, by the way?
Yes, it did.
Did he see it? Does he know?
Not yet.
Shit. Okay. Well, the thing is that I think the thing is that it's not so much that he's being pressured about Syria. We would like to have a conversation with him. I just don't know how we would do that. How would we have a conversation with him on Syria without us feeling like he's like looking down on us when we're trying to give out legit things we know about this? If he's serious that he wants an open conference about Syria.
Well, a plane is going to have to be made to carry that out.
Well, yeah.
There's a question of how that's going to be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see if I don't know if he knows what the live chat looks like, because if he's here, he can totally like put words in the chat. Like I have that open to him. So while I'm not on a full speaking terms with him at this point, there are ways he can make contact with me. Like I have screen saved every comment he's made on any of my channels, because I have ways of addressing him and stuff like that. And I am trying to save his reputation. Most people just don't get that. Hey, is there other people you can share this out to? Because I feel like a lot of people should see this. This is a rare moment, and this is a moment. This is an exclusive with Unreal, and people will understand the bond between me and Unreal. Was it a trauma bond that started it though? Because that stuff is like that's the case. If it was, it's fine. But like, do you think that we kind of bonded through a trauma bond of the shit that? Okay. Our further investigation with Red Syrian on the massacre. That's Pop Girl, by the way. If everybody, his actual street name is Red Syrian. Pop Girl was that meme he used to do on fucking like Twitter and shit like that. Which his account got shut down for so many fucking terrible reasons of free. You know what I mean? Like a progressive Muslim, a progressive communist Muslim speaking his mind from Syria, by the way, is very wasn't popular on Twitter apparently back then. Even though they said Twitter was great for free speech, it wasn't apparently for people of his demographic. But yeah, there is hold on. Where did that thing go? Yeah, this book here. This is a book which apparently Red Wasp has an issue with in a certain page. I'm bringing this shit out in the open because I will defend this book, but I'll also defend Red Wasp to some extent, and I need AV to understand that nuance. I think that this isn't a misunderstanding. I think he causes a lot of misunderstandings by accident, because I think especially since the shit that happened out here in 2019, I think AV's been a bit on edge. I mean, there was COVID and stuff like that, and I think that gets into another thing. Is like, I think that we can make sure that he can get safely back to Palestine. I think that we can make him an issue. He is an academic. He wrote a book. If there's problems with something, however, that Red Wasp has with it's in there, if he really has a copyrighted thing, Red Wasp, maybe AV should go back and do a special edit. Or I should ask the question, why does Red Wasp feel threatened by being referenced or having anything of this in there? And I think it's because of what Dr. Weizfeld said concerning Syria, and we're not trying to embarrass him. This is not an attack on him. We're as you can see, I'm actually trying to defend him here. This is what's happened. This is not too different than the misunderstanding that's happened between him and Mark even. And like, I'm tired of these misunderstandings. And I don't know what kind of Jason, is this a baby boomer thing? Are these guys just not capable of communicating with themselves? Or like, I mean, is it just me or the boomers not communicating with each other? They're like, I know Gen X, we have problems communicating with each other, but like, we can talk to each other and know what each other like. I don't know. Like, is there some sort of like cutoff with this? I'm just confused. Is this an old people thing?
Yeah, I do tend to notice that I guess boomers aren't very good at communicating.
Yeah, it's weird. Because like it's clear what happened was Dr. Weizfeld was totally but like taking like, oh, look at the opportunity, and that's kind of what he was saying. And as soon as he says that, they think, oh my gosh, he's going back into a pro-imperialist agenda, not really like, no, he did make evolutionary steps concerning the understanding of Syria. He still, the thing people need to understand is AB doesn't like Bothism at all. That's something people should understand about this. I don't like Bothism either, by the way, but you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people who hate Assad just on the grounds of Bothism and hating Bothism. Do you know what I mean? I mean, what would you say in that dilemma? Because like this is kind of like a curveball. Hopefully there is an open discussion, so maybe this will help make an open discussion if he sees this.
Uh,
I mean, he's not wrong to hate Bothism. That's a big thing, and I feel like this Syria thing is too much of an excuse for us all not to get along. I don't like this because
yeah,
it's already he's already overthrown. If we step back, AB has evolved before with the Syria thing. The problem is, and this is where people have got to stop being let loose of this. Syria is complicated. It's not like Israel Palestine. We have a problem with the Kurds. The Kurds don't have exactly the autonomy they should have, but the Kurds try to take shit that's not theirs to take. You know what I mean? There's a crisis around that. The Assyrians are demanding full recognition of independence to have, basically, they're asking for national cultural autonomy. They're not even asking for territorial because they don't have the numbers for that, like a lot of the fourth world. And that's one thing you'll notice about the fourth world and the third world versus the fourth world and the first world. The fourth world and the third world isn't as concerned with land, but just the right to have their national autonomy and stay in the region happily, And that's one of the beautiful things is Syria can definitely do that. But Syria also has a problem, I think, with knowing why Lebanon allows to remain split by the colonial lines that were carved. And everybody forgets that. All of those countries are colonial carved. So you're like, oh, I'm for this country, I'm for Syria, I'm for Yemen, I'm for this. Okay, fine. But, you know that all of these lines, what the colonists looked at the different demographics and they divided them. They did that to India with Pakistan and Bangladesh. You know what I mean? Doesn't anybody know that? You know what I'm talking about, Jason? That's all from the British and shit, and the French and all these colonists that came from Europe. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, people don't realize how bad of a scam the nation state is, and a lot of that shit slipped under the radar with the what is it, the communist movement. I mean, there are communists that have talked about it, but like, why do you think that isn't talked enough about how the nation state actually can't be a proletarian state?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think the disconnect is? What do you think this is? Because this is part of why AB is so hard to talk to for a lot of people, because he's traumatized by communists not talking about the nation state critically, but now they do. I mean, the third worldists do. What do you think? Like, what do you think? Like if we could have an open dialogue with Dr. Weizfeld for sure. I just am not sure how you go about that. Like I need him to understand. Like he forgets I am the cleric of public relations. I'm recognized as the cleric of public relations, and AB's having a PR crisis, whether he realizes it or not. It's not really his fault, and that's what Nicole was trying to say. It's not his fault. There's a big confusion here that we want to put an end to, wouldn't you say? Like, I just don't know. By the way, Unruh has a hard time talking. You can help explain that too. You have a very difficult time talking. It's one of the reasons why you had me loop around the whole time.
Yeah, it is really complicated, and how to have that conversation. It's something that needs to be set up with people, like something organized.
You definitely have, though, a shyness, would you say? And we're not trying to embarrass Jason here, but we're getting emotional today. Not to be emotional, but we're giving some to get some again. Oh man, AB better appreciate this. We're opening up here. This is difficult. Getting the under to open up is difficult. Why is that? Why is it difficult to get you to open up to the public?
I'm not good with live streams.
Hmm.
That's why I don't do them.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Why do you think that is?
I I don't know. When it's live, I just don't know what to say. Like I don't understand how people like all the streamers can just turn on and then go for hours at a time. I just have no idea how that's possible. I don't know what to say. What do I talk about? What do
I get you. I get you. But the thing is that you are insightful, Jason. Like a lot of us, it looks like I'm getting more people to see this. A lot of people have a tremendous respect to you. And by the way, it's not something I make it up. Were you oblivious to actually how much support you had the whole time? Like
yes.
throughout the whole Mouse Rebel News thing we're trying to do. Even, like, by the way, the network with Luke Dublin is not the first Mouse Rebel News network. Am I correct? What was the first Mouse News network?
Well, there was a Mass Rebel News Network originally back in 2009 that had Redneck D and Nightcrow Red, and those guys were making videos too, but eventually they slowly dropped off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think Darcelvia is watching. I hope he is. Uh, what we have a project with. What are we going to do? What have we talked about doing? There was a thing. There was that project that we almost did, but it failed with those two guys. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, the MLM documentary and the M3W documentary.
Yeah, this is something that we were. This was a project that we were doing with Jason. It is Jason's documentaries, but Jason sometimes needs side editors. Jason writes a script, and me and Luke would basically tamper with the script, or put it. Sometimes we give it even to Falcone and let Falcone can actually give good ideas. This is what Stone thought was a conspiracy made by me. Can you imagine this shit? It's like
Yeah,
no, it's just like no, it's like I mean yes, like it, 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 there are. Jason puts a lot more stock in the Gen Z kids. Like it's a lot easier for him to talk to them. They've reached out to him. Very few millennials ever reached out to you. I mean, aside from Red Pagan, did any? You were friends with Mason Steiner, and that was. I was kind of friends with Mason Steiner too. But that's it.
yeah. It seems like Gen Z is the one.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's because they know we're fucked. That realism helps them do shit. You know what I mean? That realism, they're much more conscious about the environment. They don't want to cancel people for not always understanding the pronouns either. And the irony is they have more trans people amongst them. That's what's funny. They have more of those people. I mean, you look at the millennials. Jason showed me a picture that I wouldn't know how to share, but they're what is it like? You showed me this picture of LGBTQ. You're a queer person, yes, Jason? You're queer,
Technically, yes. I do believe in gender abolition.
right? And you are queer though. That's the thing.
So technically, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that's the thing people get confused by. You've never been a trans people. In fact, you've even said before that done correctly, it's the best rebellion to like. You've said that stuff before, like what is it? It's this thing that you've thought about the non-binary thing. You've told me about this before.
Yeah, that non-binary is the way forward. Like abolishing gender is like.
Yeah, yeah. And you've talked a lot about how we all have these masculine and feminine traits, like everybody does. You say,
Yeah.
Yes, everybody has this. Yes.
I don't think that there's anybody who really completely wholly embodies what is wholly completely the gender stereotype of the gender stereotype of male and female. I don't think even Andrew Tate does. I wouldn't be surprised if there was feminine characteristics to him or feminine gender characteristics to him that he suppressed. and maybe on some level he's overcompensating for.
Yeah. Now here's the thing.
And no one ever told him that it's okay.
Yeah, there is some sort of shift. I think toxic masculinity has made people not want to be men, and it's also for it's given. I think in a way for what it's worth. If anything brought trans women to come out the way that they have, it's fighting toxic masculinity, I guess, because there's always that thing where men have to be this, and women are this, but no, women are not this. You can't say that women are these things. You can't box women into these things, and it's funny because on the one hand, cis women have a deep struggle, but on the other hand, the role of what a woman is often is stuff that men end up with in some sense. You know what I mean? And so that sort of sense of consciousness, like it's hard to explain what I mean, but I think you know what I mean. Like trans, when you think about it, of course this is going on. This has happened before. You've said that before. This has totally happened before. This is nothing we should be scared of or anything. Wouldn't you say that? Like that's kind of what's sad about this. There's nothing to be afraid of by a trans person, wouldn't you say? And
Yeah,
you've seen real transphobia before. You have actually. You know.
yeah.
You
I,
know.
I think we all have.
Yeah. Like, and it can get scary how bad it gets. Like okay, that these people are expressing a type of probably in a lot of ways justified gender rebellion. This does go back before. This has happened before because there is something wrong with the gender roles to begin with. So like you're attacking basically people who a lot of times you'll notice a lot of people who are trans and queer of any sort. A lot of times they'll it's not just dysphoria, but there'll be some philosophical questioning of the gender itself, or in other cases it will be connected to neurodivergency and gender questioning. It makes sense that this is an actual community that should be self-asserting and is, and it seems like Gen Z are the ones that are doing that correctly. I mean, they're taking, like they're not forcing people to accept all the microbursts, but they're not canceling them either because like the different pronouns do have their place. It's just it's hard to make everybody adopt that language. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I could ever, to be honest. I think that toxic masculinity is the reason why women and girls are always fighting with men or anyone who is probably. It is. I've always said it. The white man did this to everybody. It's true. Why is it? It seems like millennials seem to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why they project. That's what Jason was projected because Jason. I mean, isn't that kind of true? You even tried to tell people when this whole thing started that you don't fully understand the trans thing. You even said that, didn't you? Like I remember
Yeah.
you back then. You had no problems with engaging with the trans community or anything like that. But these white millennials just wanted to crucify you for not knowing enough, And it's funny because like anybody wants to know, anybody who hangs around Jason, who's known him the longest, is actually Red Pagan Nicole. And Jason's known some other people than just Red Pagan Nicole, but she's the one that goes all the way back with him. And before she came out as trans, or possibly even came to that conclusion. But there was no problem for Jason. Like that's kind of the thing about this. So you and I, you were kind of traumatized when you looked at the Midnight Productions thing. Is that true? Because we're explaining kind of how we became such close friends. I had to really, in order to explain what happened to my friends and how cops did this under a neo-Nazi's orders, of all things. I had to explain a lot of shit about Arizona. I had to show him places. I had to introduce him to people, most of them who will never be on any interview. You know what I mean? Because they're just scared. And there's some creepy shit out here, man. There's some fuck shit that happens out here. There's shit that happens in fucking California that Jordan knows about. It's not just Arizona. It happens in... Tune in, subscribe to Dark Snovia. My man knows a lot. He knows what he's talking about. But yeah, we're bringing back the Mouse Rebel game that we were going to do it. You and me were going to do this with Trav and Mason, if you recall. That was a thing. It's funny because that kind of was actually more Mason's idea, but Mason is so far removed from us these days because we just don't agree with him. I don't hate Mason, but I think Mason's views, they kind of sound corporatist when you really look at it. We were open to it. Remember, we were open to his weird New America thing just to see what it was. You know what I mean? And it was, and it just looked bad. It was like, no, bro. this sounds like some sort of happy corporatism of some kind. So basically, it was like an internet like an inward international. I don't know, man. Uh, Corporate nation. It was just weird. He tried to say it wasn't that, but it is. Like I don't know if Mason is like theological. I don't know. You knew him way before I did. Does Mason kind of have like a tick when it comes to like theory or something?
Yeah.
See, they try to make you the white guy, but he's the super white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do speak out against this disturbing that's been going on. Yes, in fact, that's actually something that we're going to talk about here too. And this is something I have not been able to talk about because it's been difficult, and I've been in denial about this. Apparently, I definitely have autism. But apparently, I don't come off as autistic at all. Do I? Apparently, Jason, I come off to a lot of people as either schizophrenic or on meth, or none of this stuff is me. I'm opposed to meth. I can't stand that shit, and I am not schizophrenic. What I am is actually autistic, and they gave me a shit ton of Ritalin as a kid. And if anybody knows what happens when you give a person on autism Ritalin, they end up growing up like me. You know, I don't sleep, bro. It's not okay. I want to sleep so bad. I just want to fucking take a nap, man. But when you don't sleep, then you start to, your imagination gets confused with reality. I'm not really naturally delusional. It's just I need sleep. Otherwise, I start to think that, like if there was a Jewish Don Quixote, I don't know if you know Don Quixote. It's a Christian fiction thing that he thinks that the King Arthur romances are absolutely factual, and he goes off to quest, and he's poor as fuck. He's not no nobleman. It's a wonderful story, but that's not really me. But that's me when I'm on insomnia. I'm like, yes, I will go off and I will take down. And I'm crazy enough to do it because like I'm afraid of what's happening. I'm afraid of Al-Aqsa getting destroyed, bro. I'll die for Al-Aqsa if I have to. I've said this before and I meant it. Wait. Okay, hold on. This is a big issue that he's been talking about, and this is important. White millennials are transphobic as a whole, and I've already brought this up. Who else? Jordan, do you want to get on here? Just let me know. Come on, what the fuck? Would you feel comfortable with Jordan on here? Because I don't want you feeling overwhelmed. You'd be okay with Jordan on here? Okay, yeah. And see, that's the thing. Jason's homies. Who are the people that like? This is not a conspiracy, Jason. Who are the 3 people that you feel comfortable around that don't make you nervous?
Oh yeah, you guys.
Yes, it's me, Jordan, and Nicole. Yeah, one of them's a trans woman. Jason, I think by now we can stop with this rumor. One of them is a trans woman. And Jason is as cis as it gets, man. I mean, I am too, but like Jason's really, really cis. And ask yourself that why is it that Jason would be, that close to somebody like that? Unless the truth is, Jason's not a transphobe. The truth is, Jason was not allowed to understand the trans community because they did that to certain people. It's not a trans thing even. It's literally a white millennial pride thing that exists out there. They want a virtue signal. And they want to basically obfuscate their own whiteness by finding their own white pitfall guy. That's a thing. There were similar things like that happened in the 60s and 70s, as a matter of fact. And Unruh is somebody that a lot of us are glad to hopefully save from the clutches of that. But that would not have happened without Gen Z. Let's be real about that. That was Gen Z that really did that. I am going to give this stream yard to you, Jordan. You are welcome to come on. And the Unruh feels safe with you here. Yeah, it's me. It's wait a minute. It's me. Can you just link to him the one can you link to Jordan on the Skype thing? What Skype still exists, fortunately, for now, briefly. But can you just link it to him on Skype? Because I'm having a hard time sorting this. You know me, I'm technologically screwy as hell, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, see if you get through that, Jordan, and if you can't, you can come. I'll try to still send you mine. It's just that my link doesn't always work when multitasking because I put it in the wrong thing or accidentally halfway erased it. I have a problem. I'm not on Skype. I deleted my Skype on my phone. Oh fuck. Hold on. I can send this to him actually through the phone. I can do that. Wait, no, I can't. Wait, yes, I can. I can. Except, wait, he's not on. Fuck, that's right. He's not on. Oh, send me the link. Send the link to me, Jason. I can send it because I have it now on my. It's the one thing I have on my phone is the signal and the thing.
I already sent it to him on Skype.
Yeah, but he just said okay. He says look this. Read this. Look at the headlines, Jason. Yes, those are the headlines, bro. Okay. Yeah. So.
Okay, I'll send it to you on Signal.
Yeah, and one of the things we need to make clear.
Oh, that's the thing to watch it. Oh, that's the thing to watch it.
Yes, and I'm sending this to.
There, that's the.
Yes. I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to give this to Jordan now. All right, good. Now I'm sending this to Jordan through text because I have Jordan through text. It's easy because we both live in the Southwest, yo. All right, this person here, by the way, is always welcome here. My parents are still voting for Trump. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't know what to do about, like, there's nothing I can personally do about that. And yeah, I get that. Yeah, my kid is that way.
Jesus. How long have we? Oh, 41 minutes. I was in the shower for almost half of the stream.
How are you doing, Jordan?
Doing all right. I visited a friend yesterday, and yeah, and trying to keep up with all the chaos that's been happening, especially with RFK basically continue to insist that autistic people are a disease and being gaslit into claiming that's not what he said.
Right. So everybody's people had heard about this thing called Mouse Rebel Game, which was going to be me, Jason, Trav, and Mason. I'm kind of glad that didn't go on because like a lot, which by the way, those two men are not always the same, to be fair. But anyway, we can bring it back apparently because Jason does have his Mouse Rebel Game after all. I mean, obviously I'm included but apparently it's you and like we are the three ones that know Jason and Jordan. You could say something to that if you want. By the way, part of what we're doing, we're trying to let Dr. Weizfeld know we do have his back. He basically exiled us. He doesn't get it. If he could calm down, we want to discuss it. There's nothing we don't want to discuss with Dr. Weizfeld publicly. Like, why did Kara get up there when all of us wanted to get up there? I mean, Jason would like to, but Jason doesn't do that anymore. Jason has a lot of shyness these days. He's getting older. He's tired of debating people. He's becoming a decent student of psychology and wants to pursue that. But Jordan should say something.
I don't have anything to say at this time, actually.
Oh. Well, we don't want to disbar Dr. Weizfeld. I think he thinks that that's what we're trying to do, and that's not it at all. We're showing him that he ended up forming a monopoly. I don't think he intended to do that, actually, even. I think that was Stone doing that because she works with people like Proxy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wanted to promote Weizfeld, but I couldn't because of association. You know how that works. Like, I didn't want my reputation to be dragged under the mud. What little I have because of his actions.
That's true about the Kennedys, by the way. So yeah, no, the thing is that there does seem to be an open door in a way, but he forgot that it was me, Luke, and Jason that were with him when we started saying, okay, we have to recognize that there is convergences that are happening in California, terrorism. And now we know it's everywhere, which is what I thought it was going on. Like it happens in Portland, and Nicole knows about this, where these different tendencies with the exact demographics that Dr. Weizfeld described, but also largely it being Maoists and anarchists that are forming, but even other tendencies in united fronts. And there's not a hostility, and this is one of the reasons why we want to break the ML chauvinist sectarianism. And what he doesn't seem to know is it's not just the Trotskyists that we're done with. We've been done with the MLs for a while too. But you are a good one to speak about this, Jordan, because you are a Maoist third worldist.
Yeah, sorry, I do have a little stage fright right now. This was unexpected.
Sorry about that. But like, you want it helps Jason. Jason, Jason's the most nervous in a way about able to talk, not because he's nervous right now, but Jason has that shy thing, and we want Jason to be around more. But like, Jason's been traumatized by the white millennials and social media. I would say a lot of us realize that when we talk to him.
I think to some extent I might have been, because considering my experiences, for a certain thing we will not talk about here.
Yeah, I don't think Dr. Weizfeld knows that. We've had a lot of online harassment, and it increased when he basically put us to the side and was working with Stone. And none of us
most of the online harassment I've ever suffered from was from my generation, so I can understand how Jason feels completely.
Well, yeah, like there's a thing with social media that the boomers just are completely unaware of, where we are consistent, where things that happen online do affect us in real life. Jason should talk about this. Jason's been a consistent victim of actual doxing.
There's something malicious about my generation. I'm not going to lie, about how it fucking fucks with people, like people they don't like, or people that have an issue with. It's like I've never seen it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen with other people of other generation, but I haven't. Millennials, there's something seemed to be unique about them, about how they resort to, rather than actually try to win an argument using facts. When they're losing, they resort to doxing or mass harassment campaigns. And again, I'm just saying this as a millennial. I have a right to say that, so anyone that claims otherwise can get fucked. Because it's fucking true. Anyone that's interacting with millennials online knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right. Jason, would you be willing to share some of that, like, doxing that you've gone through? You've been doxed, like, a lot, actually.
Yes, I've been doxed by leftists and rightists.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't mind so much being attacked. I knew that was a risk going into this, but it's when they do it to my family members that I have a problem with it. Family members that don't even actually agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, you don't like me, fine, then attack me, but then go in and harass members of my family. Like, that's fucking pathetic.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why we're not only calling this a Convergence meeting, we're saying we care about Weizfeld. What Abe needs to know is, while he has a different kind of issue, we have this issue where, because we're younger than him, we are more aware of the social media world, and we are easy prey to a lot of people. And our association with him doesn't make that easier at all. You know what I'm saying here? Like he doesn't always realize that. And we often have to protect him from his own optics that don't look right, when we understand where that guy's coming from. Like, am I the only one that's getting sick and tired of people trying to pass off Ba'athism as socialism?
No.
Yeah, it's really fucking annoying. And so it's not that we don't get aid, but the Turkish fascism that is spreading into Syria is way worse. Like how could this have happened when Syria had a great bloc against America and Israel? Well, the answer is Turkey is a different player altogether, and they have a different agenda altogether. And some people will align with it, because Turkey probably would save Al-Aqsa. You know what I mean? I get where Turkey's coming from, but I disagree with Turkey. I think Turkey is very imperialist through and through, if that makes sense. Not even semi-imperialist. They would be a junior partner in to either China or Russia. But if they, and they would have been with America, but I think that when Trump did that thing with Jerusalem being, when he said we're going to move the embassy to Jerusalem, I think that changed the demographic between American and Turkish relations permanently. Yeah, there's still communication between two. There's still 8 times trade, even with the tariffs going on. But Turkey doesn't play ball with America anymore, geopolitically. You've noticed, like,
Yeah.
but are you all right there, Jason? Sometimes seems to happen with Jason, like he has stress.
No, I'm fine.
You have been harassed. Would you be willing to tell us what Anarcho-Pack actually did to you? Because I'm getting sick of this. Nobody cares about Anarcho-Pack. Yeah, okay, Jason has a tick. He can't stop misgendering Anarcho-Pack. It's because of a tick or something. I don't know what it's called. Some autistic people can help me. Jason, by the way, is neurodivergent. He's just not autistic.
Yeah, Anarcho-Pack made a fake account and became my friend under the name Comrade Dankman. And then became my friend, got a bunch of information like how I feel and stuff I've been going through, and then doxed that when attacking me. That's stuff that was I mean, aside from the you're transphobic, whatever, but then adding that personal stuff that was unrelated to it.
Yeah. And in retrospect, you actually even said to me before, you think that there was a campaign to gaslight you into transphobia. You actually told me this once. And that makes Jason not the bad guy at all, if that's the case. But you told me some interesting shit about how vicious people were. Like, this is one of the reasons why you didn't want to talk about the massacre, you told me. What was it that it was like? I don't even remember how you said it. You would remember this better. I mean, I know you sometimes have a hard time thinking back of it. You said some very interesting things to me when I was showing you this thing with the massacre. You said, "Hey, now I believe you, but here's the thing." I wish you could you remember enough to tell me about how this actually happened, because you would remember this better than me. I was very traumatized. I was still crying a lot.
I'm not sure.
I mean, we're talking about 2019, so this is a different time altogether. Gosh, you can't believe it. How long has it been from 2019 at this point? Shit. Anyway, all right. Well, the thing is, Thunder is also slow to respond. That's another thing because he has to process a lot too. You this is one of the reasons why you don't like crowds. You don't want to be seen as weak when you're just not going to speak right away. You're very patient too, I've noticed. I mean, for a while you looked like you were going to be friends. You were friends with Pinball and Polenkosh. You showed up, on that very first. What was it? Shit. It was that stream. It's very popular too.
Oh yeah, what was it called?
Shit. There was a reverse version of PragerU too. That it was a whole thing Pinball did with Polenkosh. I just can't remember what that shit was. Polenkosh even ended up doing a tribute to you, like that rap song with you, and it was with you doing the thing.
I do remember those videos. They didn't do that many of them, actually.
No, but it was it really helped. It really helped the MLs overcome, strawman arguments that social media anarchists were doing at the time. For what it's worth, it really helped that shit.
That is true, but they act like I'm sorry. I actually resist going a tangent, but I find a lot of their arguments against anarchists flawed because they're using arguments against anarchists of 100 years ago rather than anarchists of today.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you should actually share this out if you can, Jordan. I'd appreciate it if you shared this. The actual wait, you would hold on. Let me let me also give you the stream itself, so you don't actually invite everybody in the world here.
Well, the stream is in my community tab. People should be seeing it.
Oh, let me see. Oh, cool. Thank you, bro. Because like this is something that we want to bring attention to. The reason why we're doing this, everybody who may be tuning in, please get others to watch this too if you can, is because heck, Jason, if you could share this out too right now to your community tab, that'd be cool.
I'm just one guy. I can't be
I know
expected.
that's part of the problem here about spreading the message. We could have spread the message to the right people quicker with Dr. Weizfeld and his ideas of roundtables and discussions. Had we had basically tried to there's a lot of stuff in retrospect we should have done.
Like, I no longer have a Twitter, so I can't share my shit on Twitter because I've been banned there for years. Which I actually think Twitter might have done me a favor by banning me.
The problem we have, all of us, is I think we wish people knew social media isn't reality. And Dr. Weizfeld is unaware of that culture too, of these people who live on social media. He's completely unaware that.
Well, I don't necessarily 100% agree with that. I think it is and it isn't. If that makes any sense. It's just the reality that we do see on social media is buried by the bullshit. So I do think it's yes and no.
Hey, Jason, would you be willing to share that in your tab and say this is live now? This is as real as it gets, people.
I don't even know where it is.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me send it to you through the Signal thing.
Like an example of what you're talking about, Net, which I agree with, is when people claim that Gen Z are overwhelmingly misogynistic or right wing. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're using a fringe example of people of this generation to prove your point, which doesn't prove anything. Gen Z, it's just they're tired of this bullshit, both sides nonsense. If anything, Gen Z is the most polarized generation where they don't care about trying to be nice to everyone anymore, whether you leaned left or right. Could it be the most right-wing generation? Yes and no. It's also the most left-wing generation too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's, if anything, the most centrist generation and right/right-wing are millennials.
No, I agree.
We refuse to fucking commit to one side or the other, and you have this stupid channel, I won't mention her name, who constantly talks about Trump losing. It's like, what? How? Do you live in some delusional fantasy land? What good are the fucking courts when Trump doesn't follow the orders of those fucking courts? Like, how are you so fucking dumb that you don't understand how fucking power works? That's one thing that pisses me off about my generation. We're the most educated fucking idiots.
See, I really do hope AB sees this, because this is the kind of stuff AB would want to speak about. And that's, by the way, why we all one of the reasons why we all have issues with cars. She isolated us from him when we were ready. We've all been ready to talk to him. Like, would you be willing to ever, I know you have your frustrations with him, but would you rather Dr. Weizfeld's reputation be saved when we actually know him and we were the ones that had his back? We've tried to explain this to him, but He's an isolated boomer. Would you agree? On this generational stuff, Dr. Weizfeld is a very isolated baby boomer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people who got a lot to say here about this. I think the censor fell out of the later millennial. Yeah, because the censor's alive. Who wants to be on the fence at this point with the world collapsing? You got the fascist promising paradise, and you have the leftist providing an analysis of truth for those who are looking for the truth. That's really what the position of the left is to search the truth.
I view centrists as fascists in denial, because when you look at some of the most fascist people that are out right now, they start off as centrists.
People forget that's how Alex Jones was when he started. He was very centrist. Alex Jones was constantly torn down by the right wing, particularly. It wasn't originally Democrats that whatever. It was Republicans that particularly had an issue with it. People forget this shit. Why is this stuff happening? Because, like you said, you can't stay in the center. You can't. It's not possible.
Palestine has destroyed the center even further, because you still have fucking. Okay, I hate Bernie Sanders. And he was trying to argue that what Israel was doing was not a genocide. We should be careful about using that word. And he was called out by his own freaking people.
It's one of your favorite slogans, Jason. Scratch a liberal, see a fascist bleed.
I'm embarrassed that I once supported Bernie Sanders. I will fucking say that. I can't believe I once did. It's one of my most embarrassing secrets.
Well, look, this gets another thing. I think Dr. Weizfeld often confuses that a lot of us were not in favor. Like, you got to understand this is another thing about the optics that he doesn't get. Amy was really pushing for Bernie Sanders, but for those of us on the far left, Bernie Sanders is a trap that we just don't trust. It's not that we don't have empathy for the persecution he went to. Like, for all intents and purposes, he should have won the Democrats. We know this already, don't we? Bernie should have had that time when he was running against Hillary. We already know it. But that's the point. There's no point even voting for Bernie. It's forgetting. Yeah, I still respect him to some level because unlike Adrian Cortez, he actually is kept to his positions because he doesn't do anything. But that's the thing. The faith was the thing that pissed me off. Like, the truth is, AB was always against colonialism. He didn't quite connect which side of the political spectrum I was on. I'm colonization and largely. I am boon, centered in the boon, but I aim to get the boon on the side of true anti-imperialism, true anti-colonialism, true anti-fascism, true anti-radical liberalism, true, anti-neocolonialism. But the thing is that, I'm afraid Ahmed and Red Ross don't understand what Dr. Weizfeld's going through. And I'm afraid he doesn't understand how he is Red Ross, and that worries me. And I'm like, am I the only one that's watching the gold people fucking have temper tantrums with each other, not realize that this is a miscommunication problem? Am I the only one that sees this? And I'm worried about it because these are fine gentlemen here. You know what I mean? They really are. I can't be the only one. The boomers don't know how to talk to each other. How do they not know how to talk to each other? Someone spread the word. We're worried about our boomer friends. They don't seem to know how to talk to each other, let alone us. There's a I can't understand what Dr. Weizfeld. I don't really blame on him. I'm trying to understand it. Like,
I think it's because our boomer friends, all of them, have been traumatized.
Really, go on.
They've all been traumatized. I can't speak because I'm not Jewish, but like Weizfeld has the Holocaust as the trauma that he has to deal with. I don't think he ever fully overcame it.
Mm-hmm. No, you don't. I didn't overcome my side of it. But anyway, keep going.
Well, I can't speak for the Jewish people. I can speak as from an outsider looking in. One of the I forgot what the other person. What's his name? I'm sorry. There's so many people. I'm very bad with names.
Mark Foster. Mark Foster's not a Holocaust survivor, but there's also
not referring to him.
There's also Steve Struggle.
I was referring to Steve Struggle. Yeah, him. He has generational trauma, mm-hmm. And I think the boomers themselves suffer trauma in one way or another. Failure, they expected a lot. The world would be different by the time they reach the age that they are, and it's gotten worse. Yeah. And I think the boomers, the good ones, feel like they failed, and I think that's why they're so bad at communicating, because they feel like failures, that they let the young people down. And I'm trying to be nice to these people to a degree. Not all of them. Not all of them do I think have done any harm, but I'm just saying, I do believe a lot of boomers feel that they're disappointed themselves, and they feel like they failed in their life. And I think that's why a lot of them deteriorated, because they see where the world's going, and they felt like everything they've did was for nothing.
I would like to express something, by the way. While I do understand the positions of Ahmed and Red Wasp, and I even kind of side with them to some extent, what bothers me is I've noticed that there are positions that they take that I have issues with. Just so Dr. Weizfeld knows that I'm nuanced here. I disagree with the position that Ahmed takes that Meir Shree was colonial. It was never colonial. When these Ashkenazim came to Palestine, they were immediately embraced by the Palestinian population. In fact, that is part of the culture of Palestine. Is they are what America claims to be. They are bring me your poor, bring me your tired. That whole Statue of Liberty nonsense that people think is about America. That's Palestine. Like everything, America did not invent it. That's the Palestinian question. And that's because of the concept of what Jerusalem really is about. That can get a whole different thing. Like, oh, they've always been fighting over there, and they've always been at war. No, majority of Palestinian period has been peace. There's a blight on it, on what happened to it because of the Crusades, and now again another crusade, which is what Zionism largely is. But anyway, anybody can speak here, you know. And I'm like Auckland should talk to me, and I could maybe I could help square this problem because this book is important. Ahmed has a with Red Wasp. Sorry, I don't want to get the two. Red Wasp has a problem with something in the book because it says it's personal to me. I need Red Wasp to know how important this book is to me, and I also need Dr. Weizfeld to understand you kind of set him off when you told him you understood more about Syria when he does know more about Syria than you. This misunderstanding that the boomers have. I'm tired of boomers being excited for our sake as we're trying to give them a chance to eat. I need them to stop fighting with each other for our sake. Is anybody here with me on that? Am I alone, gentlemen?
No, I just don't have anything to add.
That's fine. That's fine. See, that's another thing. This is another reason why Kara says that I'm in control is because I talk. I try to get at the root of things. That's what I do. I'm a PR guy.
Well, everything that the West says about the people of Palestine, they've always fought over this land. It's self-projection. Like, think about it. What has the West historically done for in the thousands of years it has existed? I mean, before, like, it wasn't even that long ago. If we're judging geographically, that Europe fucking was a shithole. That always waged wars against themselves and had their population almost wiped out by the Black fucking Death. Like, while the rest of the civilized world, the true civilized world, actually practiced hygiene, while the fucking Europe, it took them like until recently to fucking do it.
There does seem to be a sort of shame collectively Europeans. Jason, you could share this out if you want to. You don't have to, but like I like it to share this out. As I now sent it to you. I sent you the actual link to the stream itself just now. If you could be so
like every basic things European fucking take for granted, like what we all do every day, it's because of people in the East, not because of fucking themselves. Every single thing that the Western culture has comes from everywhere else. Like
by the way,
of its own.
This is also why that's another example why maybe should know that we were his friend. It was us that actually attacked because we appreciate his position on uplifting the Orient. That's one of the reasons why we all wanted to work with Dr. Weizfeld is because we agree with uplifting the Orient, don't we? We don't want the Orient destroyed. Like the West is trying to take apart the Orient for the sake of fucking oil. Like all this is all trying to mow down all those ancient sites because there's an inconvenience to fucking oil profits. Yeah, doesn't anybody realize that we're trying to stop this?
And one last thing to add to what I was saying, because I didn't finish completely. It's even the West's beloved science, and I'm not saying this because I'm against science, mind you, would not fucking exist without the Muslims. As we know it. Science as we know it would not exist without the Muslims. That's a fucking fact. Any white person who wants to contest with this needs to look up their own fucking history. Everything that Western civilization is from the East. It's from Africa. So get fucked. Seriously, get fucking fucked.
Yeah. Jason, would you be willing to tell us exactly what your illness is? Like you let out that you had an illness and you were in a pretty low state. And everybody was. I remember. I don't know Esforay as well as other people do, but Esforay, said that you're not talking more about your illnesses hasn't serviced you, and I actually agreed with that. I mean, what made it difficult for you to talk about your like? I mean, it's the vulnerability thing. I take it that we are afraid if like we say too much about ourselves that we'll be perceived as weak or something.
I think the more that I talk about it, the more it can be used as a weapon against me.
Yeah. And I think you feel like even saying that, hey, my life might matter too. Like, well, people are gonna like act like you're a narcissist or something. I get what you're from. You've been such a target forever. I don't remember what the first thing was, but I think it was the Yankees had a big issue with him wanting to like that or something. I forget where a lot of it started, but I remember like you had a big social war with the Mises cult. Oh,
No, so I just have to say this, Jason. That's fucked up. I'm sorry. What you've been through is really fucked up.
Oh well.
Just get this. All right.
yeah, there's a lot of people have saying that, and people are saying this lately. You know, like even with social disagreements, this is the thing is we're all like Christian. Okay, so and I know Christians who feel like they're now in a social war against Christian nationalism, like my friend Lily. Lily is a caretaker of Ted Rubenstein, who I'm hoping to eventually stream. And I mentioned this before. There's things I need to do, and like I'm not sure like how we can rebuild the bridges with Weizfeld, but that's what we want to do. Because the thing that is funny is we don't think he understands that he was duped into basically monopolizing power, and he's still on a kick. He doesn't know he's on a kick. He's so traumatized he doesn't get it. If he would just calm down, it's like we've all tried. We're all ready to communicate with him to some level. Or we just need to let him know that we never had a say in these principles he says that are in the Convergence that he somehow has in his head. Perhaps he forgot to tell us what they are, but we would like a say in that. Would you guys agree? Like we would like a say in what these principles are.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, we are not trying to take away his authority. He forgets that the whole point of the chairman of revolution is he's supposed to be the chief archivist. That's really what his function ultimately for this is. He needs help with that website. We're not attacking him at all. There's information we've had for a while. We've been sitting on. We can't update it without that kind of communication. That's really why Cara, she didn't want us talking further with him. She didn't want him and Mark to bond further. You know what I mean? Can you imagine how much we wouldn't be doing this if Mark and Foster and Dr. Weizfeld were completely bonded right now? I mean, really. I think also Dr. Weizfeld needs to know that when he says the things he says about Syria, he does traumatize Syrians. I know some of these Syrians. You know? Now, to be fair, I know people that supported the overthrow of Assad and they're Palestinian, but guess what? They're scared of socialism. Those kind of Palestinians. And that does say something about the demographics we're talking about. You know what I mean? If one of you have anything to say about it, you can go ahead. I am not going to censor my peeps as they're speaking to me. Yeah, the fact of the matter is a lot of Palestinians don't really care either way, and they're down with your struggles if you're down with theirs. There are, in fact, queer Palestinians also. It's a fact.
Well, anyone that says that are actually revealing that they themselves are queerphobic when you say something like that, including liberals like Bill Maher. You don't say that shit unless you're queerphobic.
Yeah. We are technically starting. I guess my wife wants to say something to me, so let me get to Comrade Colleague first, and I'll All right, we're good. The more we can spread this stream out, the better, because we are trying to outreach to Dr. Weizfeld, because I hate to bring this out, but he saw an unlisted thing from Nicole, and it's just a statement. And the thing is we don't want Ottman gone. We don't want Ray West gone, but we don't want Dr. Weizfeld gone. And I'm also now trying to give out my predicament. I am willing to fight like hell to protect this book, because I don't completely agree with this book, but because they're so obsessed with this two-state solution crap, which I completely oppose. This would be their alternative. It would give it, and we could get it to the point where the UN recognizes Dr. Weizfeld as a Palestinian Jew, as a trusted side for the Palestinian, because there is a side of the UN, which unfortunately is very toothless, that is for Palestine. We need to, he could be their arm. And I want to, the one thing he's got in the bag, it's Palestine. I want to know what you guys think about it. I'm trying to get this out there, and that's why I do want to talk to Word West. I don't really understand what book he's actually challenging. And I can get it that Dr. Weizfeld set him off with the thing about Syria. And I think AB just needs to understand that AB sets people off. He turns people off. He does it to himself. My wife doesn't speak, but she just in the room. She says the same thing. I have friends that say that. And we all love him, but like he's so traumatized, he's forgotten who his friends are. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to do this stream like this. Jason probably doesn't really want to be here all that much if you want the truth, but it's not like I twisted his arm. It's like we want to get past this. We care about Dr. Weizfeld. Guard didn't give two shits about him. She told him everything he wanted to hear because of the fact that she knew that if he could revert to certain positions, he could be made to look like. Now Mark Foster thinks he's a Trotskyist. He's not actually a Trotskyist. That's not truthful. He has some, in my opinion, bad influence by Trotskyism, but he is not really a Trotskyist. He has too many differences with the way they like to handle shit. Trotskyism is an actual ideology, people. He's not really part of it. Although I do think that it's fucked up that he stays with any Fourth International, especially how much scumbags every Fourth International has been. And has anybody noticed there's always a new Fourth International? Which Fourth International? It's like there should be an inquiry. You are, so just letting you know, yes, you are. Yeah, to everybody who celebrates that, I don't celebrate Easter, but yes, to everybody who celebrates that. See, and it's an interesting thing. Like I could. So since we're opening up here, and stuff like that, it comes to my attention. Like the more we can give Dr. Weizfeld reason to calm the fuck down, and realize that we're actually on his side. It's just that he was coerced and tricked into monopolizing power. When he forgets, he was right there with me, Jason, and Luke when we started this thing about and that the convergence isn't what he puts in that chat. The convergence, he is part of that effort to bring it out there. Because there is a convergence throughout the world of different tendencies, which it seems that the MLs just want to railroad. And the Trotskyists too, actually. This is where I really do think you could speak more, Jordan, because you've had a lot of problems with the ML crowd. And it's kind of why you're not on social media, in my opinion. I guess Jordan is a bit busy right now, but like I said, this is the all topics discussion. Okay, he did have to kind of go. Anyway, so Jason, you did a lot by. He might be back. You did a lot by. So.
Okay, sorry. All right, I was multitasking. Anyway, I don't really have much to add except that the problem I have with the ML community, they talk, and yet they don't listen. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They act like they know more than they actually do. Of course, this could arguably go for any other like communist community out there, but it's mostly the MLs, I could say, because they act like they know more than they do. It's like there's nothing wrong with admitting ignorance because that's how you learn. Yeah. And I kind of feel like they go against the basic principles of what communism is. It's always to ask questions, always question everything, and they don't. They treat like Lenin and Stalin like they're the gospel, and to this very day, more than any other tendency, they're the ones that are still like shitting on anarchists when it's anarchists that are basically fighting the hardest right now in the first world against the tides of fascism. Who's protecting trans people? It's anarchists. Who's protecting autistic people? It's the anarchists. Who's protecting poor disabled people? It's the anarchists. Where the fuck are the Marxists defending these groups? I don't see them anywhere.
Yeah, no, and this is into the thing. While we're not trying to bring it up too much, this is.
I'm not done. The only Marxist groups that are actually doing fucking shit. Oh, again, another group that's slandered by the MLs, the Maoists. The Maoists and the anarchists are the only groups that are actually doing their part of fighting against fascism in whatever way they can.
The problem with the Maoists is that they often bicker amongst themselves. But Jason, this thing where you have a hard time talking. Do you think part of that's trauma, or were you always shy? I mean, you can do a video by yourself really well. Everyone knows you can.
Yeah, it's just the unstructured, free flowing thing that I'm really not good at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, you said before if you had to, you would do a stream with Dr. Weizfeld, but you just don't want to do any more streams. Like, you don't even really want to be here, and I don't blame you. You're here because you feel like you should be here.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I don't particularly like doing streams either because I prefer recorded videos.
Yeah, so each one of us have our go-tos. Jason, it's me, Luke, and with Jason, it's me. It was me and Luke as far as the ideas go. When it comes to moral support, it's me, Dark Snovia, and Red Pig and Nicole. Dr. Weizfeld had his go-tos for a while, I think, but with him, I think it's taken. I don't think people of his. I'm going to be honest. I don't think people of his generation on the far left that are not recognize his actual struggle. That's my theory. I think it's us younger generations that get that shit actually. And I'm more of the Gen X side, like Jason is, and Gen X is not very impressive. We're kind of like slackers. You know what I mean?
At least your generation has more reticles than millennials.
We have more sellouts. I'll say that, man. I'll be real. Like we have way more sellouts than anything.
I don't know, maybe it depends on my experience of my generation, why I'm so cynical, but at least your generation are nowhere near are at least willing to take a position, while my generation are too cowardly to take one.
Yeah,
I mean, my generation was quick to sell out Palestine because they didn't want their basic comforts fucked with. It's my generation that's bitching the loudest about the new Nintendo console being freaking possibly being $600+. It's my generation that basically plays the most video games. Anyone that wants to argue with me, you could fucking get fucked because it's fucking true. It's millennials, of course, Gen X too, because Gen X did start off with video games, but it's millennials that are playing video games more than any group. It's factual.
I sure hope Dr. Weizfeld is seen because the point needs to be driven home. Jason did not share this out. That's okay. Jason doesn't have to do anything. Again, everybody who thinks I control everybody is insane. I mean, I make requests all the time. Jason, can you send that thing out? Oh, I forgot. Jason's like, I don't want to do it. Yeah, we're real control. Dark Stovia, I sure am your puppet master, aren't I? You know, like.
Anyone that thinks I'm being controlled is fucking stupid. I mean, seriously, you have to be fucking dumb. It's like the very fact is, me and you have vast disagreements, especially regarding vaccines and medical science, especially. We have vast disagreements. Of course, I don't think that's really relevant or it's that important because there's bigger issues to be concerned with, like what's going on with RFK is extremely dangerous. I'm speaking in our country, considering the kind of rhetoric he's fucking trying to normalize. It's fucking just it's scary. As an autistic person in America, I don't feel safe now. Every time I'm around, every time I hear someone say they're anti-vax, I assume that they think I'm a disease because they link autism to fucking vaccines, which is complete fucking nonsense.
To be fair, though, there's different reasons for anti-vax, and they're not all motivated in that exact position.
I don't care. I haven't encountered one anti-vaxxer that isn't a freaking eugenicist in one way or another.
I got one for you, though. There's a lot of natives that refuse to vax for a lot of personal reasons on their own religious grounds, and I think that they should. I think that when they say they have better remedies, say that they don't. There's also the other side of it where and I'm more on this side. Where you prefer immunizations over vaccinations. That's where I stand. I would much prefer for us to have immunizations. Actually, this would be a good point for Jason to say what he thinks about that because he took on the anti-vaxxers in 2020 all the time. 2020 was a radical year for you.
What is the difference between the two?
Okay, immunization. Okay, immunizations. Shit. See, AB did do actually something on this. This is why I'm so pissed off at how things went because, gosh, funny enough, if you go to Dr. Weizfeld's channel, I'm just gonna look at it right now. This is way back. This is like in 2020 or something. He did this whole thing about the vaccination, but he brought up it was a while back. This really pisses me off. He did this thing about the immunization and how immunization works. So, like with an immunization, it has something to do with, like let's say you donated plasma that had been infected previously, but you recovered from it, or you've had it, and then we take that and we basically develop the antidote off it, an immunization to immunize, as opposed to vaccinizing, where you take the actual virus and put it in someone. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? A vaccination takes a piece of the virus itself, whereas the immunization is more basically based, if I got this correctly, from some DNA strand or some germ culture, whatever the fuck it is, whatever the scientific shit about that means. I mean, this is where AB would be really useful to explain it again, or put out the videos. He already did videos about this, but like the immunization is not the same as the vaccination.
Okay, I would have to look into that.
Yeah. If I can find the videos from Dr. Weizfeld, I'll send them to you on that. Very, very informative, actually. About
a disease like measles is coming back when that's almost been eliminated for God knows how long. I never even heard about a case of measles in my lifetime until RFK was in charge of our health. So, and whatever an adult wants to do, I think that's up to them if they want to get vaccinated. But when it comes to children, I think that's a different case. I'm not saying they should be overloaded with vaccines, because that's not what I'm advocating for. But I think some should be like given to kids, especially if they're going to be out in public, and especially in schools. Like, I don't think measles should be a freaking thing in 2025.
Well, if we were to have a full discussion, like we still have the Mouse Rebel Gang channel somewhere. Now that we required those clusters of channels back because they floated around from. And that's another thing that AB doesn't realize. Like, we have access to things that were entrusted to us, particularly that were from other people in the Convergence. The Convergence, Prometheus is part of the Convergence. Prometheus is definitely part of the Convergence. He was always recognized. Like there's other people that AB should become acquainted with, I think. And it feels like a lot of shit happened that I mean, I just understand where that fear comes from, but it's not based in reality is the problem. I mean, technically you can get sick from a vaccine, that's true, but like the fact of the matter is you're not likely to stay sick from a vaccine, actually, if that's the case. Like, vaccine, I'll just say this, polio, okay? It wasn't perfect, but it worked. Polio, that vaccination really worked. So that's what I would say for people who hate the vaccinations. Like, there is times we know in history that these vaccinations actually did exactly what they needed to do for people. If there's concern around a new vaccine, I understand that. If there's concern around people who culturally feel it, tribal groups who don't feel comfortable with vaccines, I understand that because they may have a better immune system. We got to stop acting like that can't be the case.
Well, I can understand why indigenous people would not want to would be skeptical of vaccines, because those groups have been experimented on, and we all know this. So I understand from their perspective why they'd be skeptical of vaccines.
Well, and it's not like they deny that these viruses don't exist, but they would deal with it betterly. And the truth is, I think a lot of natives have wanted to get past like viruses that white people gave them, and I think natives are trying to get strong again like that. I think Jason is getting tired. If you're getting tired, Jason, you can go. Like, I thank you for coming here.
Yeah.
And I hope that that's kind of made clear. We are not trying to dispose Dr. Weizfeld at all. We want that partnership that he cut off from us. I mean, isn't that the case pretty much?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how Nicole feels. That's how we all feel. Like, and we can help get Red Wasp and Augment to understand where they're not paying attention to him. We could, because we see that in this generation. 80s from that generation where nobody talks to his demographics. These generations, we're not into that. We want those conversations. But thank you so much, Jason Unruh, for being here.
All right.
I'm so glad that you're here, Jason. Do you need to go to Darkstovia?
I don't got much left to add unless we're discussing other things. I have nothing much to add.
Okay, I probably don't have, but yes. And Dr. Weizfeld should get to know Prometheus. Prometheus should talk to Dr. Weizfeld. I think they'd hit it off. I don't think there's much more I can say about that, except that AB, just watch the video, this whole thing. If you haven't, watch it. I know that there is an actual attempt to reach you, but you're not paying attention to what we're saying. We're not even sure how to talk to you anymore because we were cut off all of a sudden because the person traumatizing us, stoned, was messing with you. And now we want you to help rebuild the bridges that have been gone. We'll see you soon. If you could share this out, Jason, though, as you go, it'd be cool. Let them know that.
Yeah, I already did.
Okay, cool. And yeah, I would encourage people. I will put a link in the description to Dr. Weizfeld's channel. I'm still trying to get him up to 1,000 subscribers. Like, if I was trying to stop him, why would I be doing that? The fact is, we're not sure how to make communication with this old man, and we love him, but he kind of like went way south from us. Thank you, everybody who came here, and please share this as much as you can. Oh, now we got 7 views. That's the highest we've had so far at once. Damn, why couldn't I just start off that way? But it's okay. I mean, I don't really advertise my channel. I've said I don't care, and now I'm living the Greg at it because, like, man, I think I could rally people on more of a discussion the type he needs. Amy's looking for roundtable discussions, which he is entitled to, and we are all entitled to speak to him, as a matter of fact. And I am the cleric of public relations, Comrade Nat, trying once again to get everybody to not misunderstand the chairman of the revolution. Amy, you forgot what you are as an archivist, and you need to update stuff, and we want to help you and cover your back in Palestine. We all want to cover your back in Palestine. Isn't that right, gentlemen?
Yes.
All right. Red salute. Commies.
Jews.
That's right. This is the Jewish communist conspiracy. Just watch the whole thing. Just watch the whole thing, Amy. We're trying to outreach to you. There's been a misunderstanding again, but we have your back. Don't we? He's here. We all have your back before we go, right? Watch the whole thing.
Yes, we have your back.
We've had your back. You misunderstand us. Nicole wasn't trying to shut you down. We got disconnected from it. We need to rebuild the bridge, man. Watch the whole thing. Watch the whole thing, Amy. We do have your back. You just watch this video all the way through. Don't get upset until you don't like what you hear. Just listen. Just listen, man. We're trying to rebuild a bridge with you. So just watch the thing, okay? And we will make sure that we cover your back in Nablus, okay? To Nablus. We'll get to Nablus today, Montreal tomorrow, Nablus, okay? Any last words for Sylvia?
I don't have any last words, actually, because I don't have anything else to add.
All right, but yeah, watch the whole thing from start to finish, man. All right. This has been Comrade Net and friends again for the Convergence. AB needs to see this because he is the chairman, and we explained what we understood the chairman to be, and like he got. Just watch it. You are the chief archivist, and you need to remember that. That's really like there's a lot to go over. All right, red salute everybody. Death to fascism.
Death to fascism.
All right. Yeah, okay. Why won't this thing end? End stream. Because it's completed. Why does this thing still run? See, this is why I hate doing this, is because I'm so technologically impaired. I'm not sure how to shut this thing off, and this is what can go on for hours for me, is the stream. And you are live. I see that I'm live. Why aren't I unlive? I need to end the stream. End the stream? Okay. Could continue, like, bro, like, this is insane. Let's see if I can actually hear myself on this thing. Man, I finished the stream, and I need to end it, and I'm not going to have this thing rail on for hours. Screw that shit. Fuck that noise. Why can't it just end? I'll make it easier for Avi to possibly re-upload it or put his commentary into it if I can do that. Shit. This is inappropriate that this will stay. Not yet, but... I need to be able to end the stream. Okay, I know what to do now. I need to go to the thing itself and just end the damn thing to get it through here. Can anybody hear me? I can hear me. Fuck. All right, that goes to the lives. This is why I need some technical support sometimes. Okay, I'm at my own control room. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to add Dr. Weizfeld's thing in here. Like I said, I will. I'm going to add that to the description because I need help getting him up to 1,000 subscribers. This is what I do. I'm the cleric of public relations, and then one of the things is AB is just not very good at the PR thing. He misunderstands people, and people misunderstand him, and then I have to step in and fix this. And then he's like, "You don't need to speak for me." I'm not doing that, sir. I decided to not hide my, obviously, despite the fact that I'm straight, semi-queer coded nature about this. I'm a big friend of the queer community, and everybody who knows me actually knows that that's actually one of my big kicks, and I just don't talk about that because there's a lot of queer phobia out there. And I'm not sure if I would be classified as queer, but I'm definitely a friend. Here we go. There is his, I'm going to add this to the, this is Dr. Weizfeld's link. I'm adding this into the description right now. And I'm going to put that in the, yeah. And that's where, yeah, or I write in here. Okay. Here is the link I'm adding into there. Get him up to 1,000 subs. And if you're still watching this at all, AB, understand that you misunderstood that private message from Nicole. We are not trying to disbar you at all. We're trying, you got isolated from us, watch the whole thing. A lot of us had a co-equal power from you that we need, and we're trying to, the website, the Jewish Socialist Boom website needs severe updating. And that's part of what this is about. Like you had partners here that were helping you. But now I'm going to end the stream. Let's see if this works. End stream.